Thanksgiving is upon us. A lot of you men out there are probably going to be carving some turkeys. Well, if you're like me, your knives are just sitting in a drawer, and that's not very safe. So we're going to put together a little knife block that I actually custom designed to fit right in our cabinets. So we're going to get right to it. I've got a gorgeous 5/4 piece of oak that we're going to be cutting into strips. I've already done some preliminary layouts. If you see the dimensions that I've written down here, 3 strips. I should be able to get everything I need for 8 knives, 4 on each side of the sink. The strips are going to be 2 3/16 inches wide. So now that we've got our widths, time to clean up these faces right here, bring them down to final thickness, and we're going to take care of that right here on the planer. Now, we got to cut a lot of these guys to the appropriate length.
What I did next was lay out the areas that would be removed for where the blades will be housed. There were a few design aspects I wanted to adhere to. One was that I wanted the blades to face away from the sink, putting the handles a little further from the cabinet walls, making the knives easier to grip. Another was that I wanted the knives of similar length to be able to fit in either slot of that length.
So now that I've got all the parts for both blocks, it's time to route out the areas that I laid out for the blades. I've already set my plunge router to the depth of the thickest blade, and all the blades are actually pretty darn close in thickness, but I measured the thickest one, and I'm just going to use that uniformly throughout. It's fun to see a project start coming together as it should. Next step, glue up. Glue up was a success. Time to plane these faces, clean them up, some final cuts, some sanding, oil it, and get this thing installed. So for this next cut, the goal was to remove as little off the bottom corners as possible in order to make it straight, as you can see by my line. So what I did was aligned those openings with the left side of the curve of my crosscut sled. I put the bottom end against the fence here of the sled, and then I've got sort of a makeshift angle holder to keep this end from pushing inward so I don't have to clamp it down or hold it down. So I'm going to be holding this nice and securely with my hand. Probably not the safest method ever, so use caution however you're going to cut angles on your table saw. I'm just using what I've got, so wish me luck. time for the finishing touch. Just rub it in real good, like, and let it soak for a while before wiping it. And yes, this is an old sock. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. Obviously, you can see here that they do their job. For future conditioning, what I think I might do to polish it up and maybe even darken the grain and further protection is add some of this micro crystal wax bowl finish. It's actually a really good product. I've used it before. It's food safe, so there's that, and just kind of helps buff a nice shine into all that stuff. One thing in hindsight that I would do is actually sand. I can totally see a lot of planer marks here, especially after being oiled. Yeah, I would probably try a little harder next time. Also, there was one burn mark right there that didn't really want to come out, and I wasn't about to spend too much time or lose too much sleep getting rid of it, so I'm willing to live with it. Not to mention, though, there's going to be a knife there, so kind of blocks it from view anyway. Another thing I wish I could go back and maybe change a little is the tightness of the slot for this bottom knife. You can see how much motion it has right here. The other ones stay fairly stationary. This one's got a lot of wiggle room, and that's really no big deal because it's not going anywhere. But it does tend to want to lean in a slightly different direction than the rest of the knives, which isn't super attractive. Thanks for watching to the end, and being that it's Thanksgiving, I have to give thanks for something in particular. We have just reached 10,000 overall video views, and that may not seem like a lot, but to us, it's a big deal, and it's one of our main goals that we've been trying to accomplish. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and for being a part of our channel. Whether you've watched one or all of them, we appreciate every little bit.